I used to cry myself to sleep every night, wondering how I'd ever rebuild my life after my husband left me. But little did I know, my darkest days would lead me to a career I never imagined, a fashion blogger with millions of followers. Here's how I turned heartbreak into a whole new life. If you've ever felt stuck or doubted yourself, this story will inspire you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more life-changing stories. I was 32, living what I thought was a perfect life. My husband Jason and I had been married for 7 years. We had a cozy suburban home, 2 adorable kids, and what seemed like an unbreakable bond. Jason was the breadwinner, and I was the quintessential stay-at-home mom, making scrapbooks, organising birthday parties, and baking cookies for bake sales. But perfection is often a mask, and mine cracked one fateful evening. Jason came home late, again. I'd prepared his favourite dinner, wearing the dress he once said he loved, hoping it would rekindle the spark we'd lost. But instead of noticing, he looked at me with an expression I'll never forget, a mix of pity and resolve. "I can't do this anymore," he said, his voice devoid of emotion. At first I thought he meant work, stress, something fixable. But then he added the words that shattered my world. "I want a divorce." I felt my knees buckle, the room spinning. How could this be happening? We had a life together, a family. I begged him to reconsider, tears streaming down my face, but his mind was made up. He'd been seeing someone else. The days following Jason's departure felt like a relentless storm. At first, I was in denial, holding on to the faint hope that he might change his mind. I left his favourite coffee on the counter, texted him updates about the kids, and even tried to keep up the illusion of normalcy in front of our neighbours. But as the reality of his absence set in, denial gave way to despair. The financial blow was swift and merciless. Jason had been the sole provider, and without his income, our comfortable suburban life began to crumble. I didn't have a job, nor did I have any recent work experience. My degree in literature, earned over a decade ago, felt like a relic from another life. The bills piled up faster than I could manage. The first month I had to borrow money from my parents to cover rent. By the second month I was pawning sentimental items, my grandmother's necklace, our wedding china, just to keep the lights on. And then came the eviction notice. Standing at the front door clutching that piece of paper, I felt like I'd failed as a mother. I imagined my kids' faces when I told them we had to move. Where would we go? How could I explain that our lives were being uprooted because of decisions they had no part in? Socially, the isolation was unbearable. Friends who once filled my weekends with laughter and support vanished as if my divorce were contagious. The PTA moms who had envied my perfect life now looked at me with a mix of pity and superiority. The whispered comments stung like venom. I heard she wasn't keeping him happy. She must have done something to drive him away. Even my family, though well-meaning, couldn't hide their judgment. My mother, in her attempt to comfort me, said, "Well, you could have worked harder to keep him around." Those words cut deeper than any insult Jason had ever hurled my way. Emotionally, I was a wreck. Nights were the hardest. Once the kids were asleep, the silence of the house was deafening. I'd sit in the living room staring at old photo albums, torturing myself with memories of what we once were. The pictures didn't just show a family, they showed a dream that was now irreparably shattered. The loneliness was suffocating. I stopped answering calls, stopped reaching out. Even when friends did try to check in, I couldn't bear the thought of explaining myself. I felt like a failure. At marriage, at motherhood, at life. My confidence, already battered, hit rock bottom when Jason's new relationship became public. Seeing him happy, smiling with her in photos, while I struggled to scrape together grocery money, was almost too much to bear. One particularly devastating night, I found myself crying in the shower, the water masking my sobs. I looked at my reflection in the fogged-up bathroom mirror and didn't recognize the woman staring back. My hair was unkempt, my eyes red and puffy, my body slouched as if it carried the weight of the world. It wasn't just the material losses or the judgment from others that hurt, it was the internal battle. I questioned everything about myself. Was I not good enough? Was I unlovable? Would I ever find happiness again? These thoughts consumed me, leaving little room for hope or clarity. Then there were the children, my sweet, innocent kids who didn't deserve any of this. They would ask questions I didn't have answers to. Why doesn't Daddy live with us anymore? Did we do something wrong? Those moments crushed me. I'd force a smile and tell them, "It's not your fault. Daddy and I just need to live in different houses now." But inside I was screaming, desperate for a way to protect them from the pain that I couldn't even shield myself from. To make matters worse, I began comparing myself to strangers online. Social media became a window into the lives of people who seemed to have it all. Happy families, successful careers, glamorous vacations. Each scroll deepened my sense of inadequacy. Why did everyone else seem to have their lives together while mine was falling apart? There was one night in particular I'll never forget. I sat on the kitchen floor staring at a stack of unpaid bills and an empty pantry. My kids had gone to bed after eating the last box of macaroni and cheese. I felt like I had hit the lowest point imaginable. I was failing them in every possible way, but in that moment, as I sat there, broken and defeated, a tiny spark ignited within me. I remembered a quote I'd once read. "When you hit rock bottom, the only way left is up." I didn't know how I'd do it, but I knew one thing for sure. I couldn't let this be the end of my story. One afternoon, after dropping the kids off at school, I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror. I barely recognized the woman staring back, tired, unkempt, and utterly defeated. Something snapped inside me. I couldn't let Jason's betrayal define me. I had 2 children who depended on me, and if I couldn't be happy for myself, I could at least fight for them. That day, I dug out an old journal I used to keep before life became so chaotic. As I flipped through its pages, I saw sketches of outfits I dreamed of designing, notes on colours and patterns that inspired me, and ideas for blog posts I never wrote. I had always loved fashion, but had abandoned it for the life I thought I was supposed to lead. It was time to reclaim that passion. I created an Instagram account under a pseudonym. I wasn't ready to face the judgment of friends and family just yet. My first post was a picture of an old thrift store outfit I'd styled for under $20. To my surprise, it garnered a few likes and encouraging comments. Every morning, after sending the kids to school, I'd scour thrift shops for affordable pieces to style and photograph. I used my phone's timer to take pictures in front of a white wall in my tiny apartment. My posts were raw and imperfect, but they were mine. Slowly, followers trickled in, first dozens, then hundreds. With each new follower, my confidence grew. I began to share snippets of my story, how fashion was helping me rebuild my life after heartbreak. People resonated with my honesty and vulnerability. Brands started reaching out, offering free clothes in exchange for posts. I couldn't believe it. The real breakthrough came when I posted a side-by-side transformation photo, one of me at my lowest and one of me in a chic outfit I'd styled myself. The caption read, "2 years ago, I was heartbroken and lost. Today, I'm creating the life I always dreamed of. Never underestimate the power of starting over." That post went viral, and my follower count exploded overnight. Suddenly, brands weren't just offering free clothes, they were paying for posts. I upgraded my equipment, investing in a good camera and lighting. I even hired a part-time assistant to help manage collaborations. But the real joy came from the messages I received daily. Women from all walks of life shared how my story inspired them to take control of their own lives. I realized my platform was about more than fashion. It was about empowerment. Today, I'm not just a fashion blogger, I'm an advocate for women reclaiming their lives after adversity. I've spoken at conferences, partnered with charities that support single mothers, and even launched a mentorship program to help aspiring influencers find their voice. Jason? He's a footnote in my story now, a reminder of the woman I used to be and the strength it took to become who I am today. Thank you for listening to my journey from heartbreak to happiness. If you've ever faced challenges that seemed insurmountable, remember, you are stronger than you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories of resilience and transformation. See you in the next video.